Some landscapes exist in a category that science hasn't fully closed the book on. Not because they're unexplored, but because what's documented there still doesn't feel real. Color patterns that violate what physics suggests is possible. Rock formations that geometry shouldn't allow. Water behaving in ways that contradict what you learned about elevation and flow. The planet has been doing this for millions of years. We just stopped assuming we'd already seen the strangest parts.
The first thing you notice isn't the view. It's the silence, a specific, pressurized kind that makes your ears adjust, like descending in a plane. Trolltunga, the Troll's Tongue, juts 700 meters above Lake Ringdalsvatnet, shaped by glacial erosion that ended roughly 10,000 years ago. For most of the 20th century, almost no one hiked it. Trail infrastructure only appeared around 2010. Before that, it was a local's only secret. Today, 80,000 people attempt the 22-kilometer round trip each season, and roughly 12 require mountain rescue every year. The rock itself is smaller than it looks in photos. Standing on it, you realize the famous shot requires lying flat, arms out, pretending you're not terrified. For most of the year, it looks like any other river. Brown water, ordinary rocks, nothing remarkable. But between July and November, Caño Cristalis turns red, yellow, pink, and green simultaneously. The cause is a single aquatic plant, Macarenia clavigera, which blooms only when water temperature and depth hit a precise seasonal window. The river sits inside Serranía de la Macarena, a park closed to tourists until 2009 due to FARC activity. Rangers still limit daily visitors to under 200. What surprises most people on arrival? You cannot touch the riverbed. Not a rule, a consequence. One wrong step destroys years of plant growth. How do you walk through a forest made of razor blades? That's not metaphor. Singi means where one cannot walk barefoot in Malagasy. These limestone needles, some reaching 90 meters, formed over millions of years as rainwater carved channels through the karst plateau. The underside eroded faster than the surface, producing blades sharp enough to shred standard hiking boots in a single day. Rangers issue specialized gloves. Researchers studying the isolated lemur populations inside the formation must plan routes days in advance. One wrong step means a genuine laceration, not a scrape. Most visitors see maybe 4% of the accessible area. (10,182 square kilometers of salt. That number sounds large until you're standing inside it and the horizon disappears in every direction equally. Salar de Uyuni sits at 3,956 meters altitude, high enough that first-time visitors regularly underestimate the sun exposure. The crust is 10 meters deep in places, but after rain, a thin water layer creates a mirror so precise that NASA uses satellite reflections from its surface to calibrate orbital instruments. What nobody mentions, the salt actively damages camera equipment. Local guides carry specific lens cloths. Most tourists find out the hard way, usually around day 2. Before geologists explained it, locals had a different answer. The giant Finn McCool built it as a walkway to Scotland. That story held for centuries. And honestly, standing there, it still makes a certain kind of sense. Around 50 to 60 million years ago, intense volcanic activity forced basalt lava through chalk beds. As it cooled, it contracted into roughly 40,000 interlocking hexagonal columns. What surprises most visitors is the sound. Waves force air through the column gaps, producing a low, rhythmic pressure you feel in your chest before you hear it. No photograph prepares you for that. The sandstone pillars of Zhangjiajie rise more than 200 meters from the valley floor. Some narrow enough at the base that they look structurally impossible. The terrain made conventional tourism infrastructure nearly unworkable. Steep quartzite faces, constant fog, and unstable slopes blocked standard road access to most viewpoints. The adaptation was radical. Engineers built the world's longest outdoor elevator directly into the cliff face, 326 meters, completed in 2002. What visitors don't anticipate is the fog frequency. On roughly 200 days per year, the upper platforms are completely socked in. Some people wait 3 days for a clear view. Some never get one. A local fisherman from Puerto Rio Tranquilo described it this way: "The color inside changes depending on what the lake decides to do that morning." He wasn't being poetic. General Carrera Lake's water level shifts seasonally, and as light penetrates at different depths, the marble walls reflect turquoise, blue, or gray, hour by hour. The caves formed over roughly 6,000 years of wave erosion against solid calcium carbonate. Access is by small boat only, and most operators cancel without notice when wind picks up. Which happens constantly. The fisherman had lived there 40 years and still called the timing unpredictable. It looks like a desert. It is technically not one. Lençóis Maranhenses receives over 1/600 millimeters of rain annually, far too much to qualify. The white silica dunes form because the sand composition and underlying impermeable rock prevent water absorption. Between July and September, rainfall collects in the valleys between dunes, creating thousands of freshwater lagoons up to 90 meters long. The window is narrow enough that guides book out months ahead. Fish appear in them, transported as eggs by birds. By November, most lagoons have evaporated completely. Arriving even 2 weeks late means finding dry sand where the water was. The problem with Kelimutu is that nobody can fully explain it. Three crater lakes sit within meters of each other on the same volcano in Flores, and each one is a different color. Not subtly different. One has been black, another turquoise, another dark red, sometimes simultaneously. The colors shift unpredictably due to chemical reactions between volcanic gases and mineral concentrations. Scientists have monitored it since the 1980s without producing a reliable prediction model. Local Leo people consider the lakes sacred. Souls of the dead rest there. Tourism infrastructure was built around the summit anyway. The viewing platform gets crowded by 5 a.m. The wind hits you before the view does. Standing on Kjerag's plateau, 1,084 meters above the Lysefjord, the air pressure shifts noticeably as gusts funnel through the valley below. The boulder itself, wedged in a crevasse since the last ice age, roughly 10,000 years ago, measures about 1 cubic meter. No fence, no harness requirement. You step out onto it yourself, over a drop that takes 4 full seconds to reach water. The trail was informal until the early 1990s. No rescue infrastructure existed. Today, the 10-kilometer round trip still has no ranger presence at the boulder itself. The responsibility lands entirely on you. The cliffs are actively disappearing. Etretat's chalk faces erode at roughly 3 centimeters per year. Slow enough to ignore, fast enough that the arch photographed by Monet in the 1880s is measurably narrower today. The Normandy coast here is soft calcium carbonate, continuously undercut by Atlantic swells. What surprises most visitors is the beach itself. No sand. Only fist-sized flint pebbles, loud underfoot, painful to cross barefoot. The famous viewpoints require climbing unmarked grass paths directly above unfenced cliff edges. Several fatal falls have occurred. The French approach to safety signage here is, let's say, minimal. Before the limestone bridge was understood geologically, local Quechua Maya communities simply called it a gift. Water that shouldn't be calm somehow was. The Cahabon River, violent enough to carve canyon walls, disappears beneath a natural limestone shelf 300 meters long. On top of that shelf, a series of terraced turquoise pools sits completely still. The contrast is immediate and disorienting. Getting there required a 45-minute truck bed ride on unpaved road until 2018, when the track was minimally improved. The viewpoint above requires a steep 25-minute climb. Most visitors arrive already exhausted. The pools feel earned because they genuinely are. Why does the ocean appear to drain into solid rock? Thor's Well, on Oregon's Cape Perpetua coastline, is a collapsed sea cave roughly 6 meters wide. At mid-tide, incoming swells fill it from below and surge upward, then fall back in, creating the illusion of a draining hole. The timing window for the dramatic effect is narrow, 1 hour either side of mid-tide. Photographers discovered this around 2010, and coordinates spread quickly online. What the photos don't show: the basalt surrounding it is permanently wet, angular, and offers no grip. Three people have been swept in since 2015. Rangers don't restrict access. Drangarnir sits in the North Atlantic, off Vagoy Island's western coast. 2 sea stacks, one with a natural arch, rising from water that registers around 8 degrees Celsius even in August. The limitation is straightforward. No official trail exists. Reaching the viewpoint requires crossing private farmland, negotiating a steep, unmarked descent, and timing the visit around Atlantic weather that shifts within minutes. Faroese authorities added a fee-based permit system in 2022, after erosion from informal traffic became measurable. The arch itself is only visible from one specific angle on the hillside. Most people spend 20 minutes finding it. A few miss it entirely. A guide from Lençóis town once said that tourists arrive looking for the Gruta Azul and leave confused about everything they thought they understood about caves. The blue light inside Gruta Azul has no artificial source. Sunlight enters through a submerged opening, refracts through water, and illuminates the cave floor from below. The Chapadas Plateau covers roughly 38,000 square kilometers of Bahia State, containing canyons, tabletop mountains, and waterfalls that appear on no major tourism index. Trail marking outside main roads is inconsistent. Three separate trekkers required helicopter rescue in 2022 alone. The guide had stopped being surprised by that.